Living in such a bustling city as Hong Kong, almost all of us are in a race against time every day. In this city, sleep seems to be such a luxury that you can hardly afford. Even students here are no exceptions. They often have to stay up late to meet deadlines or hit the boats.
According to a study, adolescents in Hong Kong only have 7.74 hours of sleep a day, which is 2.26 hours less than what is recommended by the American Department of Health and Human Services. In fact, not having enough sleep is definitely no laughing matter. In 2014, a research paper found that sleep debt could lead to a greater risk of suffering from memory decline, poor school performance, and depression in students. In the same year, the Department of Health in Hong Kong also found that the use of electronic products right before bedtime might very well be the main culprits for sleep debt. With nearly half of the students having experienced reduced sleep time after using their digital devices at night.
However, not everyone feels the same way. Hello. Yes.
Yes?
Actually, I stalk my wife to be on the phone every night before I meet her in a dream. And this is my wife. Beautiful, huh?
Oh, I like to fix my eyes on William Chan until my eyes get weary and finally shut.
No, I don't think so.
Of course not.
So, is there really a link between sleep debt and the use of electronic products at night? Also, what are the signs of sleep debt in university students in Hong Kong?
To find out the answers, we have invited 20 university students, aged 20, from the same major, with an almost identical daily routine to join our 6-day-long experiment, divided into 2 separate groups. The students have to stick to a controlled bedtime habit and undergo 3 tests, which include sleep cycle, a phone app monitoring their sleep performance, health, a function of the Apple Watch recording their heart rate, and Epworth Sleepiness Survey, gauging their levels of daytime sleepiness. During the trial period, all students are required to turn in at 1 and get up at 8, and start sleep cycle and health before they hit the sack.
The sole difference between the 2 groups is that one has to pay on their phone for an hour before sleep, while the other doesn't.
After the first 3 days, we asked the students to hand in their data and fill out the Epworth Sleepiness Survey forms.
By summarizing the results, we have found that Group A students usually have longer sleep onset latency and shorter sleep duration, which means they need a longer period to become fast asleep. And surprisingly, they even sleep less. The graphs taken from sleep cycle clearly show that it usually takes 15 to 20 minutes for the students from Group B to get into a deep sleep, but it takes at least a double for those from Group A. Also, while the Group B students are generally able to sleep like a log until the next morning, the Group A ones are often disrupted in the middle of the night. What's more, through health, we also noticed that on the whole, the smartphone users from Group A have a higher heart rate than the non-smartphone users from Group B when they get up in the morning. As the Sleep Research Society points out that the more sleep deprived a person is, the faster his or her heartbeat rate tends to be. The Group A students are believed to have a higher chance of lying in or dozing off. Meanwhile, the results we have got from the Epworth Sleepiness Survey are in line with that from health. In the survey, up to 90% of the Group A students scored 9 to 17 out of 24, which suggests those students should be so terribly sleepy that they are highly likely to drop off anywhere during the daytime. On contrary, the Group B students whose scores range from 3 to 7 are almost perfectly alright, since they should have gotten enough sleep.
Starting from day 4, we try to reverse their bedtime habits to see what happened.
At the end of day 6, we asked them to submit the data and do the survey again.
Interestingly, the results we have got are completely opposite. The Group A students, who try not to play on their phones before sleep this time, generally not only have a better sleep at night, but are also more energetic in the daytime, while the Group B students, who switch to be phone users before bedtime, are found to be tossing and turning at night and sleepier in the morning.
Now we can see that using digital devices before sleep time is possible to land people in sleep debt. But what is the reason behind?
Whilst we are staring at the electronic products at night, they are actually giving out some strong blue light. The blue light, however, suppresses a kind of chemical known as hormone melatonin in our bodies, which is important in making us sleepy at night. As a result, our minds are still awake even though we are in bed, and the waveforms of our biological clocks are in turn disrupted. We end up having difficulty falling asleep, sleeping less, and getting into sleep debt.
So, if we would like to stay away from sleep debt,
Avoid using any electronic products, whether they are our laptops, cell phones, or iPads before we go to bed.